March 3rd, 2023, part 2 of the previous video. It's a continuation of the previous video. March 3rd. I often wonder about information. Like, what makes you, you? What makes you, you? Is it the people you surround yourself with, the family that you're born into, the way your brain is wired? Is it the information that you've accumulated over your lifetime? What makes you, you? When you can, when you can learn information that's available to everyone, or that's accessible via the internet, what makes you, you at that point? What's Google? What's an what's the encyclopedia? What's Wikipedia? Is it your smile? What do you talk about? You know what I mean? Your experiences? Is it art? Is it creativity? You know, because this is probably this is probably like a marijuana question. Maybe. But it's I guess it's a question to you. Like, what makes us? What gives identity? Is it what you stand for? But what you stand for is almost based on circumstance. Is it what's instilled into you? Can a certain thing be instilled into you and be instilled into someone else? You know, and at that point, you know, like, what makes you and that other person different? I know you're gonna have your distinct look, but and I hope this is making sense. Like, what if one day, and this is probably in every sci-fi movie, what if, I think damn, what's the name of that? Blade Runner 2049. I think that's kind of where I'm going with this. When you have that hologram, or that the lady that the main guy was dealing with, and it was just years of what she learned, you know what I mean? And she was able to learn and care about this guy. But I don't want to spoil this movie, because that is to this day, that affects me to this day. It was just such a profound turn of events with his female partner. You gotta check that movie out, Blade Runner 2049. But what makes her beforehand and after the fact? You know what I mean? Someone with Alzheimer's, it's the person, but Is it them? You know what I mean? If you begin to lose it, you know what I mean? I wonder, like, let's say years from now, I get dementia or some type of mental disorder where I don't remember anything, but I can review these videos. Will it come back to me? Will I be like, yo, that's me? Like, oh, will I be able to connect the dots with these videos, or will it still be fuzzy, Will I believe it with all the technology? You know what I mean? Will I think that what I'm watching has been made up by someone, just taking my likeness and getting that image to say what that image would say, you know what I mean? Everybody is a peacock in their own right, spreading their wings, trying to get a mate. There are different cultures and different ways that people go about spreading their wings, but it's all the same thing. Getting the cars and the clothes and the fame and learning things and getting degrees and becoming accomplished. But what if this was a Jacques Fresco Venus Project type of world where all cars just performed perfectly, like there was no level of car, you know what I mean? Like every car performed how a car should perform. Every house functioned how a house should function. Like everything around the planet was extremely efficient, from the plants to the water to the food to education to everything, you know what I mean? Like technology was truly used to take care of everything that humans take care of today. Imagine this was iRobot, an iRobot type of world, and androids took care of every single thing that humans do, when they go to work, like everything. I was, in traffic, and I'm looking at this garbage truck, and the garbage truck, it has an arm that comes out and it grabs the bin and it empties the bin into the truck, like, there's nobody riding on behind the truck, you know what I mean? Eventually no one's gonna be driving that truck. Excuse me. What if there were some like, automatic sprinklers and just, truly the Venus Project vision. I don't know if you're aware of it, but like everything that gets done in the world by humans and by machines, like it would all be automated. For example, like one thing Jacques would talk about, he would say, like, for example, there would be sensors in the soil, that would detect when the soil needed moisture. And it would do it so perfectly. If the grass or whatever needed to be watered, or the flowers or whatever, if they needed just a little bit of moisture, the sprinklers would come on, and it would be the perfect amount of nutrients in the water. You know what I mean? No, like, humans wouldn't really need to do anything. You know what I mean? But the reason I bring that up, I guess, just to illustrate that more, it would be like, 3D house printing, so nobody's building houses and things like that. You know what I mean? Um, you know, the same way, you're not putting bread over some fire manually to toast it. You just pop it in the toaster. But it would be that on a much larger scale. Like, everything that needs to be taken care of will be taken care of by machines. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. But the reason I bring that up, like, let's say there was some guy who his whole identity was, being a master of toasting bread. His whole identity was bread toasting. You know what I mean? And he could tell you, like, he's just a master of it. You know what I mean? But once you have a toaster, who are you? Once you have automated house building, house printers, and your whole thing is construction or house construction, who are you? Same thing with cars and anything, That's my question. Like, what makes you you, you know? But maybe it's just maybe I need to find a book on that, you know. You have a guy, and let's say you have a guy who just dedicates him or herself to let's say you have a person who dedicates him or herself to, like, a sport or something like that, and that's all they talk about. Let's use my guy Kobe Bryant, for example. Are when you look at basketball, it's just a game. You're putting a ball into the hoop. You know what I mean? This guy, Jordan, inspire people based on their tenacity while playing this game. Is that who you are? This angry, driven perfectionist, you know? What if there was no basketball? Then who is Michael Jordan? Is he a warrior? I don't know, man. But if you have heard of any books that can answer this question for me, let me know. Or if you can answer it, let me know. I'm curious about that. Maybe Robert Greene's book about human behavior. Because that book is dope. That book is truly dope. Um, but that's it for me, man. Be good.